This is your Diamond Insight for tonight of the IMF and US Treasury Secretary visits. Since becoming a member IMF in 1965, Zambia's relationship with the fund can best be described as topsy-turvy. Having implemented over 4 programs, Zambia's stint with the Bretton Woods institution has not been smooth, as all past programs failed to cure its ailing economies. 12 years after the last visit of an IMF director in that of Rodrigo Rato and Dominic Strauss-Kahn, Ms. Kristalina Georgieva's presence is certainly a curtain raiser. As expected, the New Dawn government will definitely take credit for the confidence created for the IMF director to visit Zambia as a measure of good governance, but the question that Zambians may ask, in whose interest is she promoting, bearing in mind the past? We do not intend to be pessimists, but we know the difficult road that Zambia had rode in the early 1990s into the 2000s with the highly indebted poor country's HIPC and structural adjustment programs that reigned. The country lamentably failed in the 2 fiscal programs, and our fears are that if this G20 framework is not handled and clearly dealt with, that failure may just repeat. We say this because according to a study done by researchers and publishers called G20 Insights, research shows that as 2021, countries in Africa such as Chad failed to complete the framework restructuring due to debt and weak tax systems coupled by the burden of the COVID-19 pandemic. It is however obvious that if Zambia does its things properly, though at the mercy of the Committee of Creditors who are yet to agree on a debt restructuring path under a G20 framework, the visit of the 2 high-level officials will run to nothing, as the ace of the cards depends on the creditors. On the flip side, the other high-profile visitation of US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen equally casts a limelight on the global stage as she visits Zambia as the second African country other than Senegal and South Africa. Some may equally wonder why the fuss on the visit of a US Treasury Secretary to Zambia, but the truth is high-ranking officials such as herself do not just tour third world countries unless they are on a mission to either strengthen funding or indeed there is something for them to gain in the future. Therefore, it will be interesting to see that beyond the rush to invest in Zambia's lithium to satisfy the rising manufacture of electric cars, the US government should boost more investment beyond the $150 million at Lubambe Mine in Chilabombo district. In this glowing relationship, we remind leaders from both sides that there are still unanswered questions on the establishment of the African base within Africa and in particular Zambia. These visits are indeed good, but they should in no way undermine gains made by Zambia and compromise the sovereignty of a country that has been independent for the last 5 decades.